It appears that Nigerians now believe that sudden infernos that occur in government edifices is deliberately triggered to misplace records and hamper investigations of corrupt practices in government agencies. Cross-section of Nigerians say they find it ridiculous to imagine that the fire incidents usually occur when they are moved to probe government institutions. Many have also asked in quotes, why do fire always begin or rather affect the finance or accounting department? Here is a compendium of some of the fire incidents recorded in government-owned agencies and financial institutions in Nigeria. A trip down memory lane revealed that in 1983, the Nigerian Telecommunications Limited Nitel building was considered the tallest building under the Ministry of Communications. At that time, was said to have been set ablaze to end plans to investigate embezzlement and financial misappropriation in the company. On the 24th of January 1983, Nigerians watched the Inferno consume what was considered a high-rising symbol of development in the nation being brought down to rubble. A probe into the financial spending and records of the Ministry of Communications came to an abrupt end when fire erased records in the accounts section. Reports in the media revealed that the fire was triggered by bombs which exploded same time on the third floor and top floor. Sadly, 2 people lost their lives. However, an interesting twist to this is that audit began the previous year in 1982 and was traced by threats by unknown persons to burn the building before the plan was carried out. Though firefighters were stationed at the edifice for months to prevent such from happening, the firefighters were withdrawn in December 1982, and by January 1983, the tower, which was a beautiful sight to behold, left much to be desired. The senior firefighting official were alleged to have collected financial gratification to the tune of $75,000 to allow the eventuality. In 2015, the popular Kotangura house in Marina, Lagos was engulfed by fire. The 14-story building with so many offices played host to corporate entities like the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation and the Federal Mortgage Bank. The fire gutted the 7th floor of the building and property of the mortgage bank worth millions were lost. At that time, the Federal Mortgage Bank was expected to submit a handover of all its transactions to the Muhammadu Buhari's administration, which took over power from incumbent. The fire was alleged to be a move to conceal evidence and embezzlement. In March 2018, the generator house of the Central Bank of Nigeria headquarters in Abuja was engulfed by fire. The last floor of the building was said to have been saturated by fire, causing panic in the area. Security operatives were said to have prevented journalists who arrived at the scene to take pictures of the affected area. The CBN, through a statement, said in quotes, "Report that Central Bank head office building is on fire are false. Passers-by who saw a pall of exhaust from the generator house far away from the building apparently mistook the exhaust for fire smoke." The CBN maintains a total security system that triggers safety alarms in the presence of smoke, and so all fire engines and personnel received the alert only to discover that it was an unusual pall of exhaust. The affected generator has been rested and normal work has been uninterrupted, while the engineers are working to rectify the issues with the generator. End of quotes.
Teams to come from different locations to Abuja so that we can contain the situation. Security was in place, and all relevant agencies were invited. We've been able to contain the situation for now. What remains is that we are commencing investigations to determine the source of the fire.
2 major departments in the Accountant General's office were gutted by fire, one of which is said to process revenue sharing between the federal, state and local governments and other crucial payments. The 4th and 5th floors where the Accountant General's office is were also affected. The news of the fire sparked outrage amongst Nigerians, given that donations were recently made by well-meaning Nigerians and corporate entities to support against the spread of COVID-19 in the country. However, it was reported that the fire did not affect the data center. The Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, explained that the fire started as a result of electrical malfunction of the complex cooling system in the office housing some capital accounts document, adding that the server at the office where documents are electronically stored are intact and burnt documents can easily be retrieved. Reacting, opposition coalition CU People slammed the government through a statement issued by its spokesperson Ikenga Imogo Chinyere saying, quote, "After looting and stealing directly from the treasury and knowing that Judgment Day will come one day because of its magnitude of what has been stolen, the coronavirus lockdown provided the perfect opportunity to burn all the records to make future probe difficult. But they forget that money payment record can still be traced from the central bank and commercial bank when the time comes." The People's Democratic Party on its part demanded a full-scale investigation into the circumstance surrounding what it considers in quotes, mysterious fire outbreak in critical offices, end of quotes. The spokesperson of the party, Kola Ologbodiyan, said, in quotes, "Our party expresses shock that the fire incident came on the heels of our heightened calls for a forensic audit into the hazy oil subsidy regime of the President Muhammadu Buhari's led administration, for which trillions of naira is being claimed to have been spent. This is in addition to the recent demands for an investigation into allegations of fraud and diversion of COVID-19 intervention funds, as well as social investment program of the Buhari government since 2015. End of quote. Currently, the National Assembly is riding on the gale of demands and has raised queries on spending in respect of social incentive program. Will an end come to the incessant inferno in public institutions that keeps sadness and pains in the heart of citizens? It is important that measures are put in place to end firefall in the accounts and finance department and agencies.